we could funnel this way, that would be great. We have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And we're all out of bubblegum. Today's a celebration of the rank and file unionism that's growing in some of these very wealthy towns where it's never existed before, and where the bosses, for a long time, have kept us pacified and complacent under the simple message of, well, it could be a lot worse if you work in one of those poor districts. And like I said, today, we're celebrating the fact that we're awakening from our slumber in these districts and realizing that we need to be fighting for some of the genuine injustices in our workplace that are impacting our educators and our students. And so today's a celebration, and Wellesley, if you haven't heard the news, we voted last night to ratify a contract that I think is great for educators. It begins the work, doesn't end the work, it begins the ongoing work that we need to continue with to continue to tackle the economic injustices in our district, the workplace injustices in our district. And that's the message. We need to keep going and see this as a beginning, not an end.
We're not done.
We're not done. And just on a personal note, I want to say that I'm really proud to be part of this movement that's growing, across the state, but especially in the districts that have something very clear in common here, which is that this is upper class districts who think that they can skate by on just their laurels of being academically excellent, and we have paid educators more than anybody else in the state for a long time. But that can't be the case anymore. So I'm proud to be part of this movement and celebrating the beginning of this with the rest of you. Weston Educators Association, and they're in their own fight right now. It's Ed McLaughlin, come up.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Wellesley, for hosting us here today and for the warm welcome. We appreciate it. And congratulations on reaching agreement and ratifying your new contract. That's the goal of all these districts right now, and thank you for helping to show us the way. As you know, we're not there yet, and I have a few words to say. I think a lot of this ends up becoming pretty similar to our experiences. In some ways our fights are the same, in some ways they're different. And I'd like to share a few words and then pass this along to a few more of our colleagues from Weston. First of all, I am stunned and in disbelief that I am standing here today. Weston educators have worked this entire school year under an expired contract. To my knowledge, Weston is the only remaining district around here to be working without a contract, and this can be a lonely feeling.
Not alone.
Yet I know we're not alone. And please cheer anytime you hear your groups so I know that you're with us. I stand here in solidarity with so many amazing colleagues from Weston. And the Beacons of Hope, represented by other Massachusetts locals who have reached agreements. And the unwavering support of the MTA. That's everybody, right? A year ago, as we began our work and we were beginning negotiations with the Weston School Committee, I remember going to the MTA annual meeting in Boston. I remember Representative Ayanna Pressley commenting and celebrating the performance of educators during COVID's pandemic. Representative Pressley said, "You've met the moment." We did. 1 year later, we find ourselves being stonewalled at the bargaining table by school committees that are among the best resourced in the state. We find ourselves to be victims of state laws that are tilted against us, and very few state leaders who are willing to do anything to require school districts to reciprocate any of the urgency that we demonstrated during the COVID pandemic. The absence of state action to even the playing field at the bargaining table has emboldened local school committees to run out the clock on negotiations. At what cost? Teaching is all about engagement of the hearts and minds of students and educators. After struggling through years of COVID-impacted school committees are choosing to compromise the first back to normal year in classrooms by refusing to engage in efficient bargaining that values the professional judgment and legitimate needs of educators. Let me know if you agree with any of the following statements. 1, we need contractually protected prep time to meet the needs of all of our students. 2, we need a salary increase that reflects and respects the historic inflation we all feel as we pay our rent, mortgages, car payments, childcare, grocery bills, and all the other things that we need to pay. And 3, we need to be able to care for ourselves and our families. I know it shouldn't even be a question, right? These are 3 of the very reasonable issues and the main issues the Weston Education Association has been fighting for more than a year. We have made some significant progress on these issues after more than 1 year of negotiations. Weston School Committee needs to recognize the urgency of this moment and work with us to finish the job. In the face of this struggle, local leaders across the state have vilified the MTA for supporting the educators that our very own school committees have ignored. We know the opposite to be true. We know that the educators who met the moment before, during, and after COVID are hurting. And the MTA and our network of peer districts across the state are our lifelines. We also have been buoyed by the support of some amazing community members who have been affirming our value to the community and encouraging us to stay the course. Thank you to everyone for your tremendous support. And I'll close just with a few ideas. 1, we can do this.
Yeah.
2, we have to do this. 3, we know how to meet the moment. We are the MTA. We are the WEA. And the WEA. Let's go get it done.
Hello, Weston and Wellesley educators. And hello to all of our other union siblings and community members who could join us today. My name is Celeste Loya. I'm a third-year French teacher at Weston Middle and Weston High School. I stand here before you today with immense pride, gratitude, and determination as we gather here to advocate for fair and just contracts for our educators. Pride in our ability to rally together and stand firm in support of a fair contract. Gratitude for everyone who has given their Saturday afternoon to be here and all of the other evenings and weekends that have been given up for the cause. And determination to continue this fight until we are given the fair contract we deserve. As the backbone of our education system, it is our duty to ensure that those who dedicate their lives to educating our future generations are treated with the dignity, respect, and fair compensation that they deserve. And yet, here we are, at the end of Teacher Appreciation Week, and Weston educators have now gone 255 days without a new contract. Our school committee should be embarrassed and ashamed of itself. Instead of fulfilling its stated responsibility of advocating for the school system with citizens and the town government, it has taken every opportunity to insult, disparage, and belittle the educators of Weston Public Schools. They have continually eroded the trust that we, as Weston educators, hold in them, to the point that over 90% of Weston educators took a vote of no confidence in the Weston School Committee in March. It is time for the Weston School Committee to value its educators, to value our worth, to value our time, to value our impact on the students of Weston. It is time that they come back to the table with a fair, honorable, and competitive salary offer. It is time that they come back to the table with working conditions that respect teachers' time and give them the needed flexibility to take care of both of the students of Weston and their own families. Investing in our educators is an investment in the future of our society. An investment in fair, honorable, competitive compensation is an investment in continuing to recruit and retain highly qualified, highly dedicated educators. Standing here together, in solidarity, we have the power to bring meaningful change. We have the power to reshape our education system into one that truly values and supports its educators. Let us continue to remain resilient and persistent in our fight for a fair contract. It won't be an easy fight, but it'll be a worthwhile fight.
24-year veteran, not all in Weston, but this is going to be a little bit of call and response. So, you know the show Never Have I Ever? So we're all going to start with Never Have I Ever, and then I will add on to that, okay? So ready on 3, 1, 2, 3. Never have I ever worn red so much in my life. Okay, ready? Go. Worked for a school district where on opening day, the head of our school committee thanked the teachers for increasing the Weston property values while at the same time giving us a 1% yearly raise. Okay, ready? Go ahead. Worked in a school district that did not allow you to take sick time to take care of your sick family members. The 5 days we got in negotiation is still disgraceful when you think about what other professionals get. Okay, ready? Okay, worked in a school district where the school committee walked out on its teachers and refused to negotiate for 3.5 months, and then had the nerve to call our work to contract a tactic. Okay, ready? Go ahead. Worked in a school district whose school committee chair bragged about all the great rankings Weston has, but totally fails to recognize what makes those rankings possible. Ready? Couple more. Worked in a school district where I just finished the 14th day of work to contract. Okay. Worked in a district whereby coming to school every day, I might be the science and social studies person, but I know my math too, where I actually lose money. This year, those on top of the salary scale, who should be recognized for their, education contributions, makes less money than we did last year. I make the same amount because we didn't get a raise being at the top of the salary scale, and our health insurance went up. So by figuring out the math, I lose $3 a day every time I pull into the Weston parking lots. While $3 a day does not sound like a whole lot of money, if you think about, we have been now 156 school days, because we work at elementary, we know how many school days we've been in, without a contract. If you do the math, that's $468 that I am out. As a single person, that could have paid co-pays for my outpatient procedure and 2 MRI co-pays for $450. My December, February, and January Eversource gas bills of $423. My December, January, and February Eversource electricity bills that totaled $420. About 5.5 weeks of groceries from Market Basket, or about 117 gallons of premium unleaded gas for my 8-year-old car. $3 matters. So, I want to end this just with a little science story, because I am a science person. The Mars rover Opportunity, I'm a science Mars geek, its last words were, "My battery is low and it's getting dark." We're all kind of low on battery right now without having this contract. But Opportunity surprised everyone by really outliving its expectancy of living only 90 days. Instead, with the help of scientists and engineers working together, it lasted 15 years. So even with our low batteries, we need to continue the work to get a fair contract where, say, never have I ever, never have I ever, turns into never have I ever worked for a school district who values our teachers as much as Weston does. So thank you.
Closer? Okay. I'm the early intervention teacher at Country and Woodland Schools in Weston, and this is my 24th year as an educator in Weston. And I was a volunteer in the schools for 16 years before that. Hired some people and helped some people that are here. I also have lived in Weston for 40 years, and I do not recall ever feeling so at odds with the school committee. The teachers and the school committee have always been partners in education. For the first time, this school committee is creating an adversarial and disrespectful atmosphere. It was during my years as a volunteer that I came to realize how much the teachers give. I got to know the schools and the women and men teaching in them. It was the respect I gained for their intelligence and their service given and the patient support that they displayed for all the students that caused me to shift to a career in education. As a specialist working in 2 schools, I hear from many of my colleagues. Very few of the teachers can live in town. They have all the rising costs of groceries, the expenses of travel, long hours of daycare to pay for, and the increased in costs for healthcare. Many are still paying off their bachelor's and master's degrees. Making the decision to teach an honorable profession shouldn't leave you having to go without or working a second job. Our teachers are always putting the students first, and they should be respected. They are educated, dedicated, and caring.
All right, here it is one more time for the co-workers that we have from Weston. So right now, we're really privileged to be able to hear from a student from Wellesley High School who really passionately wanted to speak on behalf of, in particular, para-educators at Wellesley. So we're so happy to welcome up CJ from Wellesley. Thanks, CJ.
Thank you for letting me speak up today. I have not been as involved. I've come to some of the rallies, but I realized that I really wanted to talk about how much I appreciate the paraeducators in the Wellesley school system. So I'll start off, I'll say, my name is Catherine Jennings, and I'm a senior at Wellesley High School. I've been a student at Wellesley Public Schools for 8 years now. Firstly, I want to congratulate all the members of the WEA in their fight to settle a new contract agreement. Through all of this, our educators have still managed to stay supportive and helpful of all students. We cannot thank you enough. I'm so happy to see so many members of our community are here in solidarity with the WEA, along with the Weston educators. You guys got this. I can personally speak on the crucial importance that our teachers, teaching assistants, and WPS staff has played in our daily lives as students. The strong curriculums, enthusiastic support, and overall care that WPS staff provide for everyone has been a priceless service for us. Along with that, I am an IEP student, and having access to a learning center has legitimately changed my life and countless others. I have known so many ESPs that I've worked alongside teachers and students like me to ensure our emotional and educational success. The responsibilities that our ESPs take on every day is still often overlooked, and I hope their significant value will be understood and better reflected in the future. Wellesley Public Schools and all districts must work to better focus on the needs of every student, as they pledge to do in their statements of core values, by supporting their educators. Thank you.
One more time for CJ. All right, if you don't know who the next speaker is at this point, you're under a rock. We've got one of the the most supportive fellow union members that I could possibly think of. I want to welcome Deb Gesualdo from the Malden Education Association. Thanks, Deb.
Good afternoon, Weston and Wellesley. My name is Deb Gesualdo, and I am a proud public school music educator and president of the Malden Education Association. I want to start off by congratulating the union educators of Wellesley on ratifying their new contracts last night. It was a long and hard-fought battle, and some of the things that you all won, like your new ESP starting wage, took many locals 2 or 3 contract cycles to get to. So you really owe yourself a big old pat on the back for that. You have opened the door so that you can run through it with when you're bargaining your next contract. And you've raised the standard for starting ESP salaries for other locals in this area. And that is something to be really, really proud of. This is how we can and will live a living wage across the Commonwealth. I also want to take a moment to recognize and congratulate the hard work that you've all put in shifting the type of union that you are. Particularly the hard work of people like Kyle, Ryan, Brian, and so many others. It's a lot of work to shift the mindset of hundreds of people, to move from being a union that only gets people lawyers when they're in trouble or sends emails about discounts on services, to being a union that is a rank and file organizing union that has voice and choice. You've all made huge steps, and you should own that with pride, because you're part of a big wave of democratic unionism across Massachusetts and this country. All of your organizing and action showed your love and care for one another, for your students and your community, because you know that your working conditions matter, your dignity and respect matter, and your students' learning conditions matter. Your contract fights are also another in a long line of many examples of why the Massachusetts legislature needs to pass right to strike legislation for public sector workers immediately. When school committees and other elected officials are forced to take the collective bargaining process as seriously as we all do, we find that the process moves forward with fidelity and ends the cycle of toxic, never-ending bargaining. Taking action for better working and learning conditions should not be illegal, and we should not have less rights than private sector workers, ever. We need to empower our union siblings across Massachusetts to talk about how the right to strike will hold school committees accountable. And we need to normalize having these conversations, because educators and students deserve all of us being able to put an end to this type of toxic bargaining. My union siblings of the Wellesley Educators Association, you can rest your heads proudly tonight, knowing that you have made great gains through your organizing. You showed everyone that when we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. You showed everyone that it takes all of us to lift up workers and students everywhere. My union siblings in Weston, The Malden Education Association stands with you as you continue your fight for fair contracts and dignity and respect in the workplace. You are worth every single one of your proposals, and never forget that. And I'm going to leave you all with this last thought. Both of your school committees have shown us something very important, and that's the lesson about exactly why we need the right to strike returned to us here in Massachusetts. Keep on fighting. We stand with you.
One more time for Deb and all our speakers today. My name is Brian Reddy, and I'm from Wellesley. Thank you. And I teach visual art at the high school. And before I close, I have to say that because CJ is one of our most capable artists. And I'm so proud and honored to have her speak on our behalf. And she plans on pursuing art when she leaves this June. And I only know CJ because a special educator took the time to link us based on their close relationship and her care for CJ. CJ, I'm so proud of you, and it's bittersweet to see you leave, and I thank you for your support all year and today. So thank you everybody for coming out today, and what a way to close Educator Appreciation Week. Happy Mother's Day tomorrow. That's why we fight for equitable parental leave. I've never really contributed to the union before this year beyond graphics, and I originally signed up to forward emails. Look at me now, Ma. My advice is, Weston, start small and share the work. Make it easy and build from there, and never ever go alone. I found purpose through this work and endurance because it's all about helping people, just like teaching. And beyond fighting for appropriate compensation, helping people remains the core of all our values. We teach to help people. We organize and take action and cause good trouble to help people. Don't let anybody miss or twist that point. And now, we ratified a tentative agreement in Wellesley to help as many people as possible, and we will continue to work to help people going forward. Weston, we pass the torch to you, and this absurd sign that I made that might become a sale. It's upside down, right? I set him up. He's a good sport. And it asks, what will it take? We found out through attrition, and we'll continue to question it as our needs evolve over the next 3 years. And I ask you to present this question to your school committee and see if they'll answer in good faith. What will it take? We'll find out together. You're not alone. Thank you.
The lights obviously on. Just Weston if you want it. We're done. You might need to